Okay, so Matt, today we're going to talk about one of our successful case studies. This is a suppression case study where we had to push down some negative stuff for one of our business clients. And I'm going to just look down at my notes here and kind of frame this for everybody who's watching. But the client was a business owner, um, owner of a large company in Florida, and he had a personal bankruptcy that was like over 10 years old. And it just bothered him. It was in his past, and he didn't want to have people see it and answer questions about it because he'd moved on, built a very successful business. And the problem is when you Google his business name or his business name plus the word reviews, this bankruptcy was coming up. And it was on three different sites. It was on CaseText, it was on Plainsite, and it was on Inforuptcy. .com. And then additionally, the bankruptcy and other related things were on some review sites like BBB, Angi.com, HomeAdvisor, and PissedConsumer.
Mhm.
And so he had these seven different sites that he was like, they're not killing me, but I'd like to just push them down and really get control of page one and page two for his business. So when we kind of started this, what were some of the initial challenges for you?
The real biggest issue was his wife. So we had to go after three different entities: the business, his name, and his wife's name. Hit the business, relatively easy, create a lot of positive content, articles for him, interviews about why he started the company, a lot of press. His wife, though, being a stay-at-home mom, that's where we got a little tricky with publishing content, and because she had zero online presence. So as a business owner, a lot of sites put your information out there automatically, just kind of like corporate directories, but his wife had nothing. So there was nothing to compete with. Um, so that was the biggest hurdle, but we had a fresh, clean slate to work with. So with her, we ended up going the fictional route because it didn't make much sense to write about a stay-at-home mom, very amazing job she's doing, but no one really blogs about that. No one's going to do an interview on that. So she went the fictional route where we took someone who shared her name, but was a marketing entrepreneur from a few cities over. And we used AI to make real looking images of a person. And that solved that problem.
So
For
I'm sorry, before I cut you off. So when I set this up, we were just talking about the business, and I don't think I even realized that it was affecting this negative stuff was coming up for her name and for his name.
yeah.
So this is a really complex one.
Yeah, it was these negative sites hitting three different keywords, which was, and unfortunately you have to do it three different ways. You can't just publish content and have three different targeting. So yeah, it was a labor intensive mess, but we got it done. Um, for the business, the hurdle was because people want to read slander, negative things, bankruptcies. It got a lot of page clicks. For her name, she never got searched, so it wasn't terrible to bury, just the fresh, clean slate. Um, yeah, does that answer your question, I guess?
Yeah. So just to go back and recap. So we've talked about this alter ego strategy in another video. And this is that fictional thing you just described. So for this woman, like you said, she's a stay-at-home mom raising the kids. Um, we just had to make stuff up. And we made up a whole nother person that shared her name. You created, fake images, good stories, but it's all made up, and it quickly helped push the negatives down so that when you Google her name, you didn't see any of the negative stuff.
Exactly.
So how did you approach that differently for his name? And then we'll talk about how you approached it for the business.
For him, we just talk about real him, so it was easy. We would draft up answers and press releases, answers for interviews, press releases, news articles, social media, and we would send it to his EA for approval, and then we get it posted. Yeah, it was an easy
So,
process.
so for him, being that he was sort of a public facing business owner, it was very easy just to build on the positive stuff he already had out there and do press releases, interviews, new websites.
Exactly.
And then what about the business?
The business, same thing. More news articles focused on high domain authority sites. Some of the sites I like to utilize, Inc.com, Business Insider, AP News, Yahoo Finance does really well lately. There's a whole big list, but these sites that people recognize, they rank well, then we promote them above the negative. Then the idea is people are inherently lazy. They don't click to page 10 and they don't find the bankruptcy information.
And so, being that this case had three unique keywords, you had her name, his name, and the business name. Was there any kind of crossover, like when you were creating content, especially for him and for the business? Did you find that, if you put up a press release that had his name in it and the business name, did that sort of give you a two for
Yeah,
one?
exactly. Yeah. So you have to run a click team on a per keyword basis, but when you're publishing content, you can get 2 or 3 keywords in the title and throughout if you want. Anymore looks a little fishy, but you could be, uh, Mike McLeod of Mike McLeod Construction, now offers roof cleaning, whatever.
Right,
Um, with her, we couldn't have overlap because it was fictional, and that would just be really weird.
right. So, can you talk about the timeline from sort of let's call it the pressure phase early on when, the business owner wanted to really get things sort of pushed down quick? Were you able to get results like in the first month? Did it take 3 months, 6 months?
I would say about each month the negatives go down about half of a page. So
Okay.
it's not instant, unfortunately, but you can't rush it or Google catches on. So you kind of have to, we go as fast as we can within reason. But again, if you push it, Google just kind of backtracks everything and marks it as spam.
Right. And so, to my knowledge, this client has now been with us probably 2 years.
Hmm.
So every month you're creating new stuff, interlinking it, promoting it, pushing the negative stuff down. And I see it because I've been tracking it too. And I see like this stuff that used to be like, number 6 or 7 is now like number 36 or 37.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going great. There's a threshold eventually, like when I said it goes down half a page, eventually it does hit a threshold. Um, so, you can't get something completely off because especially with these negative articles, people want to read them. People are lazy, they rarely scroll that far down, but when they do and they see something eye-catching, scandal, bankruptcy, whatever it is, they're going to click on it. And we can't stop people from clicking on it.
Right. Well, so I guess if you're watching this video and, whether you're a business owner or just an individual or both, give us a call because we're going to put together, a strategic campaign that focuses just on you and which will give you results. It will be as fast as we can go. It will be inexpensive and it will work because you're only doing stuff that, is going to push the negative down, right?
Exactly.
And then do you want to mention anything about any guarantees or?
So yeah, everything we do is on a month-to-month basis, no commitment. And the first month has a 100% money back guarantee if you're unhappy for any reason at all. So zero risk, give us a try.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, Matt.
Thanks, Mike.